Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your host Eddie G doing episode number 2. Why did I decide to do it tonight? Well, it's what happens. So I've got music going in this ear, and I'm talking out of this ear so I can hear what I'm saying. Um, yeah, just want to get on here and talk some shit. Yeah, I don't really care. Um, I was listening to Poisons, Give Me Something to Believe in, right? And it hits you when, of course, I'm always indulging. So when when he gets to the part that he sings, he wonders why so many lose and so few win. I got to thinking about that a little bit, and kind of brought me back to my little wake up session I talked about in the last episode. And I think I've got that figured out. Well, I know I've got it figured out. Whether you believe I got it figured out or not is another thing. You'll just have to follow me to find that out. Um, but anyway, I wanted to get on here tonight and just tell you that I'm going to be the money that I get from you guys. The majority of that is going to be going to the National Alliance of Mental Health. I think that's the name of it, because they have chapters in every state. And, I want to do something, that obviously is going to help me, um, but also, more importantly, it's going to help other people. Because, like I said before, I don't really need anything. I can just, chill and be where I'm at, and I'm cool with that. But I think my calling, well, I know my calling was to help other people. And this is the way I'm supposed to help, is with my voice, which is good because, I'm not a big talker around people, but what the fuck? I can get in here and talk to myself all day long. That's a good thing, right? And, hopefully some of you guys listen. But anyway, it's going to be the National, where the hell is it? I'm hard with big words. It's mental health stuff. National Alliance on Mental Health, NAMI, NAMI. We're going to be supporting them. And then also, I haven't sent anything to my daughter or whatever, but just because I want to do it is support Autism Speaks. Um, our third grandchild, we are pretty well convinced that he is on the spectrum. And you know what? In my honest opinion, we're all on a fucking spectrum in some way or another. Okay. Whether it be mental health or autism or whatever that may be, but I want to support them, and I want to help find ways to make lives better for people that have issues, right? That and want to deal with them and want to learn about them and want to understand them and want to um, better themselves and better other people. For me, that happens a lot with music. Um, it's really great therapy for me. I listen to a lot of different stuff. Like I'm getting ready to listen to the Young Bloods Get Together. That's a cool song, man. Um, it's one of the songs that I listened to after I woke up, and I kind of found a sign in there. And um, I don't really have a topic tonight. I'm just blowing shit, But I started listening to it, and I started thinking about why do so many people lose and so few win, and fucking game's rigged, man, and we all know it. We all know this game is rigged, right? You know, it's not in favor of the average working man or the lower class or the upper middle class even or the the low end rich. I mean, there's so many levels to this game. It's multi-dimensional chess, right? And um, I figured out how to play, and I'm going to start playing to benefit people, right? That's what I want to do, right? They can have all their shit. I don't care. Fuck them. They can have all their money. They're entitled to money, right? They really are, just like we are. We're entitled to whatever we want. Um, but our purpose is to help each other, right? That is the main goal here, man. Is not carry somebody. You can't carry them forever, no. But you can give them a hand up, right? You can say, hey, look, I know, I feel you. I've had issues, right? And show them a little love, man. It's easy to be a dick, right? Anybody can be a fucking asshole, right? Um, they have their place in the world, unfortunately. The way the game's played, they have to have their place in the world. Um, that doesn't mean we can't fucking check their asses, because I will fucking, I'll body check a motherfucker. Um, but it has to be done the right way, right? You know, um, choose love, right? Love is what really that it's that simple, man. Choose love, right? Pure heart, right? Pure heart. If you can get there, right? And let go of all your fucking issues, you know, and clear your head, it becomes a beautiful place. And, I want to help people get there, right? I've lived through some dark shit, right? And it's all mostly self inflicted dark shit. Um, but it's got me to this point where I am at 63 years old, that I can have the intestinal fortitude to get out here and talk about mental health of men, right? Because it's taboo, right? Ooh, you got to be a strong man, a cocky man. You got to be the alpha male. Right? I did all that shit, right? And um, it's okay, right? I mean, I like being cocky. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of um, not arrogance, but self confidence, right? That's what it is, right? It's a belief in yourself, right? And you know, I lacked that for the longest time, right? For sure, but I have that's all gone, man. Poof, out the window, and that's why I'm able to do what I'm doing now. Is get on here and talk about it without any fear of what anybody's going to say to me. Ooh, right? You know, they're going to hurt my feelings, or they're going to make me want to stop doing this, or whatever it is, right? you know but it's not going to happen. Like I said, the only way I'm getting censored is if whoever runs these platforms says, whoa, we got to shut this motherfucker off, or somebody shoots down their satellites. But um it really is. It's a tough deal, mental health, right? We all know it. The ones that deal with it, or have someone that deals with it, or has lost somebody because of them dealing with it. Um, they understand what I'm talking about, right? And the ones that have issues and don't deal with them and self medicate, because that's what I did for a long time, was self medicate. We all do it in our own way. Um, is you know become a better person for yourself. It's not for me. Fuck it. Who the fuck am I, right? um but it changes your life. It's changed my life, and I'm enjoying it. um of course, my wife is still a little bit concerned, and I'm cool with it. I respect that, because it is a big change in my entire personality in the last month. And so she might think I have something neurological going on. I said, well, let's go. So we're going to schedule an MRI. I want her to be at total peace, right? I really want her to understand that what's going on here is beautiful. And I think she's getting it. And it is from a place of love. And I would do anything in the world for her, right? Anything, right? Not even a question. And that's what she wants to do. So we'll do it. And I said, well, when they put me in that thing and my brain's lit up like a Christmas tree, because all of my neuroconnectors are firing away, it's not insanity, man. It's fucking beauty. And so we'll see what happens, right? I said, well, maybe it's a tumor, right? That could be the worst case scenario, and we'll deal with that if that's what it is. I don't think it is. Matter of fact, I know it's not. It's the part of the brain that we don't use, right? That when you wake up, it starts activating itself, man. Things start firing, right? It's like you know that ball. My brother and I were talking about this. That you get at Spencer's and you put your finger on it, and all the electricity goes to it, right? Zzz, right? That's what it feels like, right? It feels like everything's starting to connect that's been disconnected for a long time. Now, I don't know. I mean, 80% we don't use is what I understand. I have no clue. I'm not a doctor, right? I hear shit and I think about it. So I was looking into psilocybin is what I was looking into as because they're starting to see evidence that um, they're making progress with that for people that suffer from mental health. That it's helping to reconnect those neural pathways. I think that's what they call them. That aren't connected, that cause the misfires, that make you go into mania and make you go into depression. Um, so, I started looking into that, right? Because, like I said earlier, the pills, man, they work, but they work too fucking good. They chill me out too much. And I do take them, but, to be honest with you, I cut back on one of them because I did not like feeling like I was just going through the motions of life, man. That's not even a life, right? That's an existence, you know. So I'm watching a fight. Um, so it's cool, right? I mean, I can talk about it, right? Michael Phelps, he does ads for it. It's starting to come around that you can talk about it as a man, right, and not feel like you're losing any of your masculinity. Okay, that's a fucking bullshit story from I don't fucking know who, right? Um, but I can tell you this, right? I can assure you I've lost none of my masculinity, right? Um, I've gotten in tune a little bit more in the softer side, and that's cool. It's chill. I don't mind it. But the other side can flare. I can wake that thing up when I want to. You know, I've been able to control that now, where I didn't used to be. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my remote. Uh, I didn't used to be able to control that. I automatically go to the I'm a pissed off motherfucker and I'm going to zap your ass, just for looking at me wrong, right? Yeah, what kind of life is that, right? Um, so being chill is cool, right? The cannabis, to be honest with you, that helps me with that. Um, Keeps me nice and level. But anyway, we all self medicate. Well, let's get back to that a little bit because I want to talk about it. Um, I don't want to voice type. Jesus Christ, I can't even operate what I got. Um, so we all self medicate, right? Some of us do it in drugs, heroin, any of it, right? Any of it. Some of us do it in alcohol. Some of us do it with sex. Um, some people do it with stealing, right? Whatever kind of addiction you do that helps get your get your adrenaline pumping, right? That or goes the opposite when you're so depressed that you just want to kill the pain, but you don't want to die, right? You're not ready to check out, but but you want to kill the pain, right? So you fucking shoot up heroin or, start snorting fucking opioids or whatever the fuck it is, right? Fortunately for me, I didn't have to go down that road, um, mainly because I do have a loving family that, would, at the drop of a hat, do anything, to make sure that any one of us, not just me, but any one of us, are taken care of. That's what good family does, right? Or so I'm told. I don't know. We argue and fight and piss at each other, sure, but at the end of the day, you know, I take a bullet for any one of them. Um, but anyway, self medication, yeah, that's not a way to live. I did it. I did it when I was younger. Of course, I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s, right? Graduated high school in the late 70s. And so I entered that whole 80s excess period ready to fucking live sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And a lot of us did. And a lot of times, you overindulge and you don't remember fucking shit, right? I mean, I've got weeks and months that I can't remember. My brother told me he'd live with me, and I have no clue that he did. Okay. I remember his dog. He gave us his dog because the dog kept jumping out of the apartment or whatever. Um, but then he said he moved in with me at our house that we had in Brentwood, and I fucking don't remember. And I can't remember. I keep trying to picture it. And, the only thing I can picture is my wife was babysitting one of our nieces, and she was in a walker and getting ready to fall down the stairs. And Ralph, the dog that I got from my brother, was barking and got my wife's attention, which prevented, my niece from going down the stairs. So, whatever, we have shit gets unwired, right? But that self medication um, doesn't really do what you want it to do, right? I mean, it eases the pain, right, for sure. But then it takes more and more and more and longer and longer and longer. Um, you know, so you go through that period, right? My wife, God love her, God, you know, she used to she used to say, "Well, I'm going to do as much drugs as he is just to see, just to show him how fucked up he was." Well, that wasn't very good logic. Okay, that really wasn't, because I was like, "Fuck yeah, my wife likes to party. We're going to rock and roll, right?" And so that's what we did. And so the '80s go by, and um, we started having our kids and family and all that shit. We got married in the early '80s, so we started having our kids. Um, I stopped doing all the fucking shit. I kind of made a commitment that I would, straighten my shit up while our kids were being raised. Because I still like to party, right? Still do, right? Most of us do anyway. Um, but I wanted to focus on supporting our family, and so I bought into that whole system of, if you work hard, you're real hard, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, you can get ahead, right? But I wasn't good with money, so I'd make a lot of money, piss it away. You hear that story 1,000 times. Um, so, you know, um, I don't know where I was going. But anyway, so that happens. I raise the kids, I get, and now they're gone and all grown. So I'm back to getting high every day, right? As much as I want, because I'm hurting nobody, and I'm not igging any responsibilities, right? And I think Casey's cool with it. I'm pretty sure she is. Um, but anyway, mental health is tough, man. I am happy where I am. I'm glad that I got help because I did need it. Um, I'm glad that I've gotten to the point now where I understand because of my awakening, right? Okay. If that's what you want to call it. I don't know what you want to call it. I call it a fucking sledgehammer to the head. Is learning how to control and live in balance, right? That's the key, right? Is trying to live a balanced life, right? It's okay to be a little cocky. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't have to be a fucking egomaniac, right? Who needs that, right? Who needs to who needs to say they're the best in the world, right? Ooh, I'm the best. I'm the strongest. Blah, blah, blah. You know, fuck off. You know, um, but you don't have to be the weakest either. Okay, you don't have to be the one that always looks in the mirror and says, "Why me? Why doesn't it work out for me? Why am I always fucking up? Why am I doing this?" That's the opposite end of the fucking animal. That's the other end, right? So you got to find a place in between that works for you, right? I mean, for some people, it's being more of the egomaniac, right? And that's how they live, and that's okay. I mean, we unfortunately we need people like them, right? That think they're fucking gods. Well, I mean, well, I know I'm a god, but they think they are, right? And they're not. Okay, um, not even close. But as got one of my favorite movies, A Few Good Men, right? I mean, we need them on that wall, right? We got to have those fucking animals on the wall, right? Because it is a fucked up world, okay? So we need the people that are willing to fucking put a bullet in somebody's head, you know, for the safety, right? Now, wouldn't it be beautiful if we didn't have to even think like that, right? If we could think that, the entire world is at peace, right? I mean, it's never going to fucking happen, okay? That's not the way it works, okay? And once you understand how it works, you'll realize what I'm talking about. Like I said, I can direct you to where you should go, right? But I can't make you go there, okay? That's a road that, that's a road you have to walk alone, okay? Um, and at first, when I started on this journey, um, my wife was real concerned. She was always concerned about me, which is beautiful, right? I mean, that's what love is. Um, so anyway, one of her friends, um, I guess, had a husband that was going through this kind of thing, and it got to the point where, I guess he misunderstood is the only way I can explain it. What having to take this path alone means. Okay, um, that's the only way I can explain it for me. I don't know how to explain. I can't explain it for him, right? Or I even wouldn't even try. I mean, I'm just giving you my opinion. Okay, so you know, in in becoming in learning to become who you really are. Okay, there's no outside influences that are going to be able to help you on that journey. Okay, um, because like I said in the first episode, is you got to crack your skull open, right? And then you got to split your brain open, and then you got to dive all the way down in there. Okay, places nobody's ever been before, including you. Okay, so nobody outside can help you with that, right? You got to go in there on your own. Okay, and that's the alone part that I think gets misunderstood. Okay, because you know you can't stop what's happening once it starts, right? Like it's just like it's a new thing, right? It's all beautiful, and you can't stop it, and you don't want to stop it, right? You just want it to keep coming, but it'll fry your fucking brain if you don't slow down and take a break. You know, um, So, and my wife, and others have told me the same thing. So, what happens is, like I said before, like last night, for example, I slept for, I don't know, 15 hours, but the night before that, I slept for four, right? So, I can't control it. I mean, I guess I could if I wanted to set alarm clocks and all that shit, but I don't have to live like that, so I don't, right? I stay up when I stay up, I sleep when I sleep. And if I have something to do, of course, I'll you know, go do what I got to do, as long as it works within my schedule. Nobody, I'm going and do the shit when I want to do it. But anyway, where were we? This is what happens. Told you, shit's going to go sideways a lot. I'll start talking about one thing and there you go. Thought pops into my head. But anyway, that's right. We were talking about the alone shit. Um, so you got to do that. You got to do that by yourself, right? Because nobody else is capable, right? Not even the best shrink in the world is capable of diving into the parts of your brain that you've never been into. Okay? How the fuck can they do that? All right? You have to be the one that goes down and deep and and find out who you are, right? And that's scary as shit, man. Like I said, so that's why we self-medicate, okay? Um, because we don't know how to deal with it. You know, we don't know how to. We don't know how to. We're not conditioned to or programmed to um, do that kind of deep dive. Okay, we're not set up for that. We're set up for it. I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. We are set up for it, but we've never been taught. Okay, let's get down to brass tack over here. Okay, in the Western world, and the East Side boys, they got it going on when it comes to understanding more of this. Okay, um, so why? Well, there's a fucking bunch of reasons why it could be. Um, Capitalism, greed, money, all that shit's one reason. Control, power, another reason. Um, because there's another side. This is why I talk about music all the time. There was a group called In Vogue, right? And you know, three beautiful black ladies singing a song called "Free Your Mind." I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, and I'll play it. Why is my camera zooming in and out? Um, it's called "Free Your Mind," and the rest will follow. Okay, and at first, back in my well, I think songs always have two meanings. All right, I think they're or three or four or whatever. Right. I think artists create them that way because um, they want you to self-interpret. Right. Um, at first, I thought that song was, "Hey, let's free our minds and date black women and hang out and whatever." Right. But when you realize that it's more about freeing your mind and everything else will fall into place, right? That's what I get out of that song. um, and when I freed my mind, everything's falling into place, right? Cool shit. So that's one of the things I look back on now and go, wow, you know why didn't I see that back then, right? I wasn't ready, right? So anyway, I don't even know where we were. Another thing for a minute, because I'll just ramble. Ask my wife. It was her idea for me to start doing this. I think she got tired of hearing me talk. No, not at all. Yeah, sometimes. But um, anyway, I wanted to get on here tonight because of that song I was listening to and wondering why so many lose and so few win. And, I started thinking about it and Um, it's a sad situation that doesn't have to be that way, right? So, one of the things that happened here, I'll just talk about this for a minute. One of the things that happened with me when my energy shift or Jesus came and talked to me, or however you want to describe it, um, was the feeling that I would feel from other people, right? Like I can't read minds, right? Okay. I can read people real well, always have. Think that's why I was a good salesperson. Um, but it was like in the movie The Green Mile. That big dude, I can't remember his name. Coffee John Coffee, Mr. Coffee. Um, he could feel the pain of people, right? He could feel it, right? And so I can do that now. I can sit down and talk to somebody, and I'll know if they're hurting. It's weird. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I can look in their eyes and almost feel their emotions, right? It's kind of weird, right? I don't have any ESP or none of that shit. Um, I guess that's my ESP, right? Is being able to understand um, the pain, because by opening up my pain, I think I'm receiving the energy waves of the other's pain, right? I guess I don't know what the fuck. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor. Okay, um, but that kind of scared me. Okay, because I didn't know how to deal with it. Right? I didn't know. I was like, what the hell is this? Why can't I? Why am I? Why am I so sad? Right? Why are they sad? And I started getting into, and I told Casey this. I would get into watching social media, and because I had a lot of time on my hands, and I'd watch TikTok videos and Facebook and YouTube, and I mean I went everywhere, right? News channels, all of them. I went everywhere, right? And it was all sadness, fucking sadness, man, right? Now, we've heard this before, right? And it's like, why doesn't the news show all positive shit more, right? And all that crap. Well, because it doesn't fucking sell. All right. Somebody getting their head blown off sells. Car crash with 10 people killed sells, right? Sex sells. You know, Miss Mary and her little lamb doesn't sell, man. It just doesn't, right? Why? How the fuck do I know? Right? We're fucked up. We're mental, man. That's why we like dark shit. Okay. I mean, we like dark shit. And it's okay to like some dark shit. All right. There's nothing wrong with it. Really? It's part of that whole balance thing, right? There's nothing wrong with knowing some of the dark shit, right? But you can't let it control you and consume you, right? That's the issue, right? Um, is we let it control and consume us, and that gets into the whole bullshit of self medication, whatever, right? So, you know, it's hard to find a balance when um, you are you have so many outside pressures, right? I think I touched on this. I might repeat myself, guys, on multiple topics, and I don't care. Whatever. I get into this mood and I just start talking. So I forgot where I was. It'll come back in a minute. Short-term memory loss issues. um, but it's balance, guys. Right? You know, this right here, body language. They say this is negative. No, for me, this is fucking comfortable. Okay, it has nothing to do with negative. It has to do, but it's saying I understand the body language. You're closing yourself off. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I get all that bullshit, but this is comfortable. Okay, um, I don't know. How do you find balance when you got a without killing yourself? Okay, Black Sabbath has a song "Killing Yourself to Live." I'll play it on the radio station because that station, that was another thing I wanted to talk about. You know that the Gigs Up radio is going to be about music mainly because I fucking love music. So we want to play music from wherever and talk about it in between songs, or every half hour. I don't know, whatever. We'll just flow and see where it goes, right? There's no, everything's fluid, which is a cool thing. So, um, so that's what we're going to do over there, right? Um, and this YouTube, the gig's up, which will be going out on podcasts as well as soon as I got to get all their RSS feeds and blah blah blah. Okay, um, then they'll go out. This show will also go out on podcasts because people do need to hear it. You know, whether they want to admit they need to hear it or not is okay. I'm going to say what I got to say, and you all take it for what it's worth. There's no wrong. Like I said earlier, there's no wrong. There's right and wrong. Okay, but there's no correct. There's no pat answer for everybody. Okay, we're all different for a reason, and as an individual, that is part of a collective. Okay, and we're going to get onto the whole astral area of this shit too, because when I started digging into that, man, my head just fucking blew up. Okay, and but I mean, when the dominoes fall, okay, and I'm being dead serious here. I mean, when the dominoes fall for you, you see everything so clear, right? And and it's wild, right? So you learn that, I hear people say some people play four-dimensional chess. Remember I said layers, layers, layers? Well, that's what this whole thing is different layers, okay? And you decide what level you want to play at. Nobody else, okay? Um, Unfortunately, in this society here, and I don't know much about other than what I can read in online and in the news about other societies, um, is how do you, right, deal with trying to figure out who you really are when you have to pay the mortgage, pay the car, because it took time, right? It took me time, right? It didn't take me money. It took time, right? And time is so precious. And we burn so much of it doing something for someone else. Wrap your head around that shit, boys and girls. All right. And I got another thing I want to talk about today. That's why I got on here. Holy shit. This is going to fuck your head up. But anyway, we spend the majority of our living life doing something for someone else for a paycheck. Okay. Now, yes, because we're in a society that is ran off of money, we have to trade goods and services. And if you don't have the goods, you trade your services, right? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Same fucking program that's been going on since the beginning of man. All right. Same program. Right. So, um, that leaves you little time, right? Because, the time that you have after you're done helping somebody else get everything they want in life, you have to find time for your wife, your kids if you have them, your grandkids if you have them, your great grandkids if you have them, and on and on and on. Your friends, right? Your whatever spiritual deal you want to deal with, right? Taxes you got to do, bills you got to pay. So, where's the time for you, right? What are you going to get? 15 minutes before you go to bed every night to decompress, let everything escape out of your mind, and sit down and be whoever you want to be for that bit of time. It doesn't work, guys. It just doesn't work. It can't work. That's why it takes so long. Hey, come here. Come on. My host is out there barking at a fox, I think. Come on, girl. Let's go tonight. So go lay down. So, the amount of that's why people say they don't wake up or understand why they did what they did until much later in life. And, understand that not what you did was wrong. It's what you had to do to stay in the game you were playing in at that level. Okay, that's the thing, right? So, like I said earlier, my wife didn't put any real hard pressure on me to jump back out on the fucking hamster wheel. Okay, and because I had that time, I was able to crack open my brain and do all that shit, right? And I mentioned that, right? So, you know, was unbalanced, guys. Okay, right? Too much time for someone else, not enough time for yourself. Someone else, yourself, right? You have to get that balance, and it's not 15 fucking minutes a day. You know what I mean? That's fucking farce. Okay, you have to figure out a way, and where do you figure it out, right? You know, do you stop hanging out with your kids? Or your great grandkids, or your great grandkids, or do you stop hanging out with your wife, or do you stop hanging out with your friends? I mean, that's the only way you're going to find the time to do it, right? But we're not going to do that, okay? Because we love our families, right? At least we're supposed to love our families. And the families that, even though all families have fucking issues. I want to get back to that too. Don't worry, okay? But you know, um, at the end of the day, at least for me, I don't want any ill will happening to anybody that I know. Um, it's just not a good not a good way, right? Um, so anyway, here we go. I got lost again. Um, oh yeah. So why I wanted to get back on here tonight, right? So I was thinking earlier today while I was putzing around, right? I want to touch on some Christianity for a minute, okay? And look, I'm not knocking here, and you guys need to fucking hear this, okay? Anyone that goes to church and is looking for salvation, they're looking to save themselves, okay? I have nothing but love for you guys, okay? Nothing, right? Because we all are, right? In our own way. We are trying to find our salvation, find our freedom, right? Okay. Um, so, with saying that, and I don't know if it's just Christianity or other religions, so I'm going to say it to anybody and anybody that needs to hear this, okay? Um, yeah, because I don't think all religions think this way. As a matter of fact, I know they don't. So we have this God thing, right? That created everything, right? And, sent his son Jesus down here to, die for our sins and all that stuff. And, but my question is, and this is where, like I said, I read the Bible, right? So I'm open to listening to shit. Um, if God created everything, right, then he created man and woman, right? But the story in the Bible, from what I remember, is, you know, one of them gave a part of a rib to somebody, some shit. I don't know. The man rib went to the woman, or the woman to the man, right? So either way, it doesn't matter. Okay. The bottom line is that if either one of them took part of themselves and put it into somebody else, then they just became fucking what do you call it? Trans, right? Right? Binary, right? Because they're both, right? Because the woman wouldn't exist without the man wouldn't exist without the woman. I mean, does that make fucking sense to you? It makes sense to me, right? That, if we came from one and then we split down the road, you know, then be who the fuck you are, and everybody else just shut the fuck up. If you want to be an Adolf Hitler motherfucker, understand though, there's consequences, okay? And you're gonna fucking deal with them. Just understand that, okay? If you want to be a fucking evangelical holy fucking roller or whatever, sure, go ahead. You have that right. It's your life, but there are consequences, Okay. If you're going to mislead people, there are consequences, right? So I'm going to tell you a story about consequences. And um, it was Thanksgiving one year, and I don't know why, but I ended up sitting Indian style on the floor by the kitchen. I don't know why, but that's where I sat. And my grandson comes up to me and he puts his arm up on my shoulder. I got the picture. Somebody gave it to me. He puts his arm up to the shoulder. And he says, "Pop, do you have consequences?" And I cracked the fuck up, man, because he was taught that, his actions have consequences, as they all do, right? Whether it's a positive consequence or a negative, you're going to have one, right? But the innocent look on his face just, I mean, that burnt right into my brain. So, just understand that, right? Play your game, any fucking game you want to play in this world. You're entitled to play it, right? But there are consequences, right? You know, like I said, I listen to a lot of music. Um, so I've been listening to a lot of old rap, like Tupac and old Snoop Dogg and Ice T and all that stuff. And I mean, guys, I got to tell you, if you get into the music and you listen, and well, maybe you can't hear it, right? Because I never did, okay, until I got sledgehammered in the head. But you understand, right? You understand, and so you start looking at everything differently, and you realize that um, they're not wrong, man. They're out there trying to fucking survive, okay? And in their situation that they were in, you know, until they got into the music. And I'll tell you where I think they fucked up or somebody fucked them up. Um, but anyway, they were in a game, right? You get the drug game or whatever game, this game, that game, it doesn't matter, right? Like I told my wife, I said, if you're going to be in the game, get all the way in the fucking game. You can't go in half measures, okay? Half measures get you killed, right? Half measures cost you your jobs. Half measures cost you everything. So if you're going to get into something, you have to dive all the way into it, 100%. Okay, trying to track my time here. I don't want to go too far over. I don't even know where the fuck I'm at, but you have to, right? I mean, that's what they call 100% commitment, right? Isn't that what they say in sports? You got to give it your all. You got to leave it all out on the field. If you don't leave it out all on the field, you're a failure, blah, 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 right? Well, guess what, guys? You're in the biggest fucking game there is. It's a game of life, right? We're in the biggest game there is, right? And how do you want to play it, right? That's what it comes down to. How do you want to play the game, right? Hey, go lay down. Go lay down. You being a bad girl. Um, anyway, how do you want to play, right? You know, you want to play for someone else, you want to play for yourself. Okay? That's what it comes down to. Is do you want to play for someone else? Do you want to play for yourself? And I think that's why I've always, at least later in my life, I didn't like working for other people because I didn't have control over what I was doing when I was doing it. Um, so I was playing for myself when I opened a food truck. I'm playing for myself now. Now, don't get me wrong. People that I love will benefit from whatever happens from all this shit. Okay, without a doubt. Because, like I said before, you are entitled to your fair share of the universe, right? You're entitled to everything you could need. Okay, you're entitled to some wants. Why the fuck not? Right? Everybody else is. So are you. Right? Okay. But you can't be greedy, man. You can't have it all. Okay? That's the bullshit side, right? That's the side that is winning this war we're in. Okay? The have it alls and the want it alls, right? And not no, I take that back. The have-it-alls, not so much. Some of them, because you're entitled to have all that you want. Okay, as long as you don't take more than you should. Okay, which means you don't need to be a quadruple fucking trillionaire or quadruple fucking billionaire or whatever. Okay, Mark Cuban said it best, right? He says, he's a rich billionaire motherfucker, right? We all know who he is, or most of us do. And he said, when it came to the pharmacy thing he was doing, um, he said, what is another dollar going to do for me, right? I have fucking everything I need. I mean, another $1 billion is not going to change my life. Okay. So that's the right thing, guys. That's where we got to get to. Okay. If the majority of us can get to that place, we're in paradise, man. Okay. Literally in paradise because the universe is infinite, right? It's an ever growing expansion of space, which means that we're an ever growing expansion of space. Okay. And we need to keep growing. We're stagnant as fuck. Okay. As a species, not as, well, fuck. As individuals, a lot of us are stagnant as fuck. Okay. But as a species, look at our history, man. Right? Look at the history of the fucking world. Okay. And every culture that I've seen, you find me one that, isn't that way, um, has been top level fucking controllers. We are the fucking puppet masters. Then you got the ones that are the fucking ass lickers, right? Because, they got to have theirs. And then below them, you got the fucking ass licker wannabes. And then below there, right? You got the fucking worker bees. We're all buzzing around trying to fucking survive in this fucking nightmare of a world the creators created, right? And then down here you got the ones that they tried to get up here and they fell and fried their fucking brains, right? So they can't do shit, right? And then you got the ones that just never had a shot, right? Never had a shot. They just never figured out any part of the game, right? And those ones down here up to the those are the ones I want to help, right? Those are the ones that need the help, right? Fuck all these clowns up here. Let them steal what they want to steal. Okay, fuck them. There's plenty. There's plenty, right? We have enough of everything, guys, in the entire fucking universe, right here on this little piece of dirt we live on, okay? We just forgot how to share it, okay? We just forgot how to be civil to each other as a species, right? When I was going through this process of diving down deep in the dark recesses of my mind, I actually had, I don't know, call it a dream maybe. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was like a fucking big zoom out into space, and I could see the Earth. Okay, and everywhere around the Earth, I kept seeing these little shit, right? Just not big, like wars were going on, right? Like shit, like Ukraine, missiles were being fired, but it was happening all over the continents. And then I started thinking, wow, when is the last time? When in the history of our species was the last time that not one continent on this planet was in some sort of conflict, right, with each other, right? Whether it be tribes or whatever, it didn't matter. And it was a long fucking time, right? I don't think it ever has happened, right? And then I was like, why? Why the fuck is it like that, right? And it comes all back down to, basic shit, right? You know, um, you always see in the movies, you see the black face and the white face thing, the opera faces or whatever the fuck they are. Um, you know, there's always going to be negative, man. Always, right? And there's always going to be positive. Always, right? This world is not going to, our species is going to survive, right? Um, it's a foregone conclusion, right? Whether it's on this planet or somewhere else, it's going to survive, okay? Because we can't not survive, okay? The only way we could not survive is if the universe dies. Now, I don't know if that can even happen, but that's when we would die. Okay, when the universe dies. So where was I? I hate it when this shit happens, but it's okay. It happens. Short-term memory loss. I told you I was going to talk real shit, right? And that's what I'm trying to do. It's what I know to be real shit. You know, it's up to you to decide if you want to even try to find out if it's real shit. How long have I been on here? Oh yeah, 5 more minutes. So anyway, I want to keep these around an hour, right? Because I get sidetracked. Um, but I want to have a lot of good talks, right? I want you guys to ask me questions. I want you guys to, you know, talk about it if you want, right? If you don't, I get it, man. I never wanted to talk about this shit, right? But do understand for the men that are listening or will listen, okay? There ain't nothing fucking wrong with you, okay? That's any different than anybody else, all right? And the women, same thing, okay? And the other LGBTQ, none of us, okay? None of us are wrong, right? We just got to balance ourselves, right? And if we can balance ourselves, that's why the world's so negative right now, guys. Okay? The world is so negative because it's not balanced. And we have to balance it, or it's going to get ugly, plain and simple. Because the greedy takers, they ain't going to stop, right? They're not going to stop. Okay? And the givers are not going to stop. Okay? Those are the opposite ends of the polarity, right? But everything in the middle is pushing and pushing and pushing. Okay? And right now, the negative polarity is pushing more than the positive in the world. Okay? And we need to start pushing back. And how do we do that? Is doing what I'm doing or whatever you want to do, is getting out in front and saying, you know what, guys, I've had enough. Okay. I see this fucking long game and I'm done playing it. Okay. I want some fucking balance. Right. We are entitled. And yes, I said entitled to our balance. Okay. We should not have to stress about surviving. Okay. I'm not talking about me. Okay. I mean, I'll survive. I'm a survivor. Okay. I'm a fucking Chumbawamba motherfucker or tub thumping or whatever that song is. I get knocked down, but I get up again. All right. This time it took me a little longer, but I'm glad it did because I don't think I'm going to get knocked down again. I'm in as I tell my brother a lot, I'm in the sunset side of life, right? As anybody my age is, right? Based on the longevity of the human body. I'm on the sunset side, right? So I want to go out, the way I should have been going the entire time, and the way we all should have been going the entire time. So anyway, I'm going to get off. Thanks for listening. Make a lot of comments, guys. Please share it. Like I said, I don't want anything other than what I'm entitled to, and everything else I'm giving the fuck away, man. I'm giving this away. Okay, I don't need this, right? I want you guys to understand. Maybe by understanding my head, you can look at any issue that is along any of the same lines I talk about and say, okay, well, I can work on that, right? I can make that better. But it does. It takes work, right? And it takes that commitment, right? So let's balance it out, guys. I want to balance the polarity of the world. Okay. We need your help to do it, right? It's a joint effort. Nobody can do it alone. All right. Peace out, guys. I love you. I got to figure out how to turn this shit off. All right. Boom. And see ya.